Yeah, just a little bit. Turn on the microphone. Oops.
Excused. Cheryl. Here, Justin.
I can make a motion to approve the agenda except for the January 13th should be 14th. And then for new business, I think we wanted to add zoning ordinance.
Yep. Approval of the agenda as amended.
Who's the second? Second.
Yeah.
I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I only had one question on the minutes. The meeting was adjourned. I put 7:55. I could, when I was watching the meeting, I couldn't tell what time it was, and I don't think you wrote it down.
No, I didn't.
Okay. Did you know? What did it write? It would be the only change.
Well, we can kind of figure out if, look at how long the meeting was in general. And then we can figure out the, at least around about time right there. From there.
I know it was short.
Okay, so it says that pretty much lasted 45 minutes.
45? Okay.
Yeah.
Can we change that to
7:50.
7:50?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Public comment, 2 minutes.
Oh, In one of their things and conditions, it says no more than 30 round trips of tractors, but it doesn't say about switcher trucks, if they're included in that part of it or not. And then it just says reduce volume on Saturdays and Sundays, but there's nothing that it says it's reduced by. As far as, is it hours reduced? Is it trucks reduced? It says reduce traffic volume. So are they still gonna be coming in at 8 PM on a Saturday and Sunday, weekends, holidays? It doesn't say anything about holidays at this point on it. And then obviously there is seepage from the trailers, which is more noticeable now that the trailers are not on the Dundee yard on Ann Arbor Road. You can go by there right now, and where the trailers were, you can see there's no snow, but wherever they were, and in like the main driveway, there's snow. So there is definitely some type of seepage coming out of these trailers, which I think we gotta look into that a little bit more, because there is a couple wells on people's properties too.
So Stacy, what would an example of the seepage be? You know,
I would have to check with the tenant,
with what?
with the tenant.
Okay, I mean,
You don't know the ins and outs.
It is anything from water, soap, detergents, just anything that's in anything that's plastic.
There's not a well on the property to be concerned with.
It's not on their property, but there is on the neighbor's property, there is a well.
There is a well, but the distance is not concerned. You're allowed to have a sewer system within 75 feet of a well, per state law.
But it would be nice to know what the seepage is on this stuff too, as they're bringing it in. And if they can't answer that, that's not really a nice thing. I still feel that there should be a more physical barrier between the propane part of it and the trucking part of it, to where people coming in from Canada, Mexico can't get over by the propane.
is there's state law that
State law
dictates that,
tells
right?
you what to do with the propane, and that's been established already.
They have,
What the safety requirements.
Has there been any other places where there's been cartage and propane in the same place in the state?
You don't do that research, do you?
I mean, our office in Brighton would be a prime example. We have 1 million gallons of fuel storage there, and we run a cartage business.
But that's all through your own businesses though, isn't it?
It is a network of about 9 or 10 different companies.
That's under the Corrigan.
Some of them fall under the Corrigan umbrella, I'd say most of them do, yeah.
Okay, so that's where this would be different, because it's not falling under the Corrigan umbrella of the trailers and all that.
On our Whitmore Lake site, we have 2 other cartage operations that operate out of there. We have 500,000 gallons of propane storage on that site.
I think they have liability if they feel the liability requires a fence, I think they would put a fence there. I mean, that's their operations in my opinion.
All right, that's 2 minutes is up.
wouldn't this be something that if there was an issue, if someone saw something that we could have our enforcement officer check it out?
On the
And-
seepage one, or,
Yeah,
Yeah.
if they saw
I
something.
think we have enough
Yeah, I think we have enough in
checks
our,
there.
Yeah, and it'd be under performance standards anyway, so
a nuisance or whatever it would, if there was a smell or, you know.
we're concerned with contamination.
So we think that's covered.
We'll think.
Well, it's covered in our ordinances.
But enforcement might not be.
We got,
Doobie Sue does a
we got
good job.
Doobie, yeah, he has really been doing a good job.
Everybody's had time to look at the latest version.
Um,
I'm going to 211 version of the Oregon agreement.
the conditions and agreement.
Yep.
Just the change in the date.
Couple of the concerns that I had, they addressed them. One was item number 17. The agreement doesn't run with the land, it runs with the owner, so that's covered here. And now this one wasn't one of my concerns, but they had put in here now that if they don't have the completion of the new I-1 in a year, it terminates back, is that correct? So it's only a year
Yeah.
on it now.
I just want to say thank you for listening to all of our comments and concerns and redoing this so many times and addressing what we wanted and. I
We
mean,
appreciate how much time you guys have dedicated to this as well.
yeah, it's been a long road, so I think 23. So, not like the solar ordinance. So, I mean, I think you've addressed.
And I'm
Like
glad
we
they
said,
put
we
the,
have Doobie on that we can always,
I'm glad they put the propane storage in here also, so it doesn't, there's no issue. But there was an issue with the acreage being off on these certain different things. That was all taken care of. I seen, except when I got this yesterday from Pat or the day before,
Tuesday.
the
Legal description?
legal description, where does it?
Well, Nick, that's the incorrect one. They actually did a certified survey, that's supposed to be your exhibit, and they understand that. And it's been addressed already that that has to be included when it goes to the township board showing the actual certified survey, showing the properties matching together.
So that's no
Technically,
good?
no.
This will be
that's
changed.
not right.
Okay.
Certified survey with the new legal description. is
And the
what-
only thing I was doing was looking for the acreage to match this 14.62, but you know you
Is that
took
what
care
the
of it.
surveyor did?
No,
That-
this is
that-
still the old one, so I need
Right.
a new one from Leah.
Right, and we knew that though, because they did resubmit it, but she did resubmit it as a package.
Okay,
Okay, so it's been submitted though.
and that'll show that same acreage. Stacy.
Yes.
That's it.
so this is null and void.
That is null and void. It's actually, remember, we got it last time. It was a certified survey that was done that actually combined the league, the combined two properties and had a legal and it was all recorded.
Okay.
That's what was supposed to be attached. So.
Okay.
This exhibit B, that's just the, to spell them out in a clearer format.
And it refers back to it as part of the agreement. If you take a look at it, talks about exhibit A, exhibit B attached, and that's what you refer to once they sign the agreement.
Is everybody ready to take a vote?
No,
I agree. It's
I'm
much
gonna make a
better.
motion to send it to.
I'm not ready yet.
Okay,
Cause I had a question. I was trying to find which one it was here. Pieces from the two screen. There was a. Front. I'm looking for where they will abide by the township ordinances.
It's in there.
Going
it's
back to
on page 2, number 7, I think it
number
was.
7, there it is, dust, noise, vibration, radiation, sewer, gases, etc. Here it says property and all uses permitted therein shall comply with respect to 9 township zoning ordinance, other applicable ordinances included out in the 2. That's what I was looking for, but it didn't state that in another one. So that one will govern then. That's fine.
Just to note that it's, if you take a look at section 13, it covers those in the township ordinance of exactly those things that you just said.
Yeah.
Under the performance standards.
Because the way it was written before is it didn't say including all ordinances. It was just worded bad.
.13.09.
Hard?
13.09 is the performance standards in the ordinance. So,
This was the one. Here it is. It's an exhibit B, item 7, the property, but this is just really a clear version of what's in the contract. Correct. I mean, this is just spells out the items individually. But number 7, this is the one I had an issue with. Property shall comply with all applicable township ordinances regarding sound, lighting, and dust control. That one I didn't like. I just wanted it to be including sound, lighting. You put it in
The agreement.
the agreement, so I'm okay with that. It's fine. Was the original one we had 30 switches or was it 50? Was there a 50 at one time?
Originally there was.
There was,
I
okay.
think we may have used 50 as a maximum number at some point.
Okay. I seen it was 30 instead of 50. It's okay, I just had a question to myself on it. I think I'm fine here.
It's still for 133 trailers, so, right?
I'd have to check the site plan.
These have not changed in the,
Okay. So
that's on these plans, and that hasn't changed in quite a while. So whatever's on those. Now, where you put what you're gonna do here on item 3. Represent bulk storage transfer facility. Um, Just so, this is for future, so there is no question about the other items coming in, other people, Dan's
Sure.
Excavating and MJB and whoever else you might have, that's a, customer that comes in there. If you could address it, that's happening in here, just to cover it, because I did not see the original site plan you guys had for the propane facility.
Okay.
So with this taking precedent, if it goes through, am I correct, this would take precedent?
I take precedent.
So you would have, so that's covered in this.
Sure.
Because we know you have MJB and Dan's Excavating or whoever coming in there upon occasion, if they're doing more likely something that's close. Just so that it's covered, we don't have to argue that fact down here. I don't know how you would put it, ancillary business. Whatever you want to call it.
I think this one's really kind of tight, Nick. So if they do want to do something like that, they'd have to probably come back to you and talk to you about it.
They're already doing it.
I know, that's.
And my concern is, we don't have the original site plan of what they're approved to do there.
I'm not even convinced we have jurisdiction when MDOT says, Dan, use that spot right there, and Corrigan says, okay. They do that pretty often down 2375.
They do that in the medians and stuff, or in between, where you, entrance ramps and exit ramps. Yes, but that's MDOT property, this is their property.
No, the MDOT actually they make that deal with MDOT, so that's MDOT work being performed next to the freeway. So my point is, once this is nailed down, if MDOT does want to come to them, it's important for them to come to you and say, hey, all those trucks we're gonna have, actually, we're gonna have a pile of, you don't have that right now. So this is nailing down the property, exactly what it's supposed to be used for, period, party's over.
Right.
If MDOT shows up and says, I want to buy a bunch of stuff there, more than likely, Corrigan will come to your, Corrigan will come to you and say, you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah,
Some water.
close enough.
Yeah. They'll come to you and say, this is what's gonna happen, and discuss it at that time.
Yeah, but I'm not so sure that's what it is. I think that, Dan's Excavating and whoever are very big customers of Corrigan's, and when they got something in the area and they happen to be working on a D8 or D, whatever it was sitting out there about a month ago, covered
There's
up.
another one sitting there.
Poor guy working on it when it was, 5 below zero. You got a tarp over it, probably to get some heat in there. But just so that's covered and it's, it's wide open. It's not I don't want to come back and visit that. If Matt comes in or somebody else and they got 3 dozers in there they're working on, because Dan's Excavating has a job right up here on the US 23 interchange at Michigan Avenue, and they got 2 dozers and an excavator down and said, hey, can we park them here? Just to cover their.
Yeah, I just want to be, and I know where you're going with that. You want to make sure that they don't, all of a sudden, there's no trucks there and the whole place is full of bulldozers.
Well, I'm okay with it. I just want it to be spelled out here that it is happening, because we don't know if that's something that really can be happening there.
Well,
According to the
once this is
original.
agreed to, yeah, I'm not sure it can
It
be.
can't, because then it's only agreed to the cartage and propane part of it.
And that's why I'm saying you may want to spell that out in here.
Or not.
That was just to cover your backside, that's all. Other than that, I'm good.
Well, it says here, no other use of the property may be made unless in accordance with this agreement. mean, I don't know, it's pretty spelled out. And if you violate the agreement, we know what happens. Mr. Doobie will knock on your door.
We'll hear from him.
Are we good, Nick?
I'm good. We vote on this?
Make a motion? I'll make a motion to move this to the board and let them have.
Oh, we got a vote.
We got a
Motion
second, we need a second. Get a second, I'll second it.
The motion is
To move it to board.
recommend approval to. the
Yeah,
board.
we gotta recommend approval.
That just not
Correct.
move it to the board.
Is that correct, Sharon?
Yes,
Approve, Cheryl? Okay, recommend approval.
Nick?
Yes, I agree.
all in favor?
Dustin?
Yes.
Roll call.
Cheryl?
Yes.
I'm a yes.
Are you sick over there, young lady?
I'm on day 12 of being sick.
12?
Yeah. I don't know. I can't shake it.
I
I feel a lot better than I did, but
don't think anybody can shake it off.
Is it the flu?
it's lingering, right?
It's just when you think it's going away, it comes back.
Yeah, I started to feel better.
Is
and then all
it
of a
the
sudden-
flu?
I don't know. But I tell you
That's
what,
been
my
going
niece
around
had
this
the
area.
flu, had the flu a few weeks ago and she had a seizure. So fever
Oh
got
my
so high,
God.
she's 2.
Wow.
My,
it's terrifying.
my grandkid had, he's gonna be 3 here in a couple of weeks and he had 104 and a
Oh,
half.
it's scary.
And
That's bad.
yeah, and then, but it went, he like almost got rid of it and came
Shot right
back,
back out.
came back in, yeah, for another 2-3 days.
Poor kid. That's rough.
So this is gonna go to the board with a recommendation to approve.
This is, I don't know if the board get the updated for this for Thursday, like the new date.
I'll drop off
And
new
then,
ones tomorrow morning.
Okay, I'm just making sure they have like the right stuff.
Yep. Does anyone know that date of that the public hearing should be written?
The October 9th.
Thank you very much. Perfect. We'll get those updated and dropped off in the morning.
Attached survey to it.
Yes. Thank you.
That's the plan workshop. Update.
Couple of things I want to bring to your attention. We changed everything that we talked about, except 81 through 89. Those are kind of important because we got rid of some of the residential, if you remember, discussion, but yet we still have it in that last portion of the book, so we have to kind of come back, bring that to.
Oh, the residential where it was saying how many houses on,
Yeah, a mile away from
half
from
acre
the
or
sewer,
something.
half acre, 2 acre, 5 acre,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We
What
got rid
page
of
are
a
we
lot of
on?
that, if you remember.
Yeah, yeah.
Are we on 81?
I think 81 to 89,
Okay.
the original 81 to 89. Not the new and improved. Okay, the new and improved is, the numbers will be off.
Is that the new one approved?
That's the new.
That's your new and
yeah.
improved.
Did
And we
you
gave
make
you,
all of us one?
we gave you that so everybody can scribble in it and make some final comments, and
Okay.
you can see what we've done to date is the other thing too. Like I said, the first part of it is boilerplate and all the changes that we talked about. Some of the things I want to bring to your attention would be, some of the things I did get is the USDA actual change of anybody not farming versus farming. Sure matters. The 2015, 2016 numbers, I'm not sure the term dramatically changed here in Milan Township. We added the truck route and the information on the ordinance in it. We changed the, let's see if I can get to that page. We changed the look of the graphs to be more user friendly. If you'll take a look, I don't know, pick one, page 28, for example. If you remember the graphs before, it used to have a bunch of numbers, you read them and it's like gloss over after about 5 minutes. At least in these type of graphs, you can see what we're
If
trying.
you already did these lands or portrait, leave them the portrait then. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, you
fine.
got them done.
Yeah, you already have.
Well,
them.
you know, it's easy to turn them, that's my point,
Oh, this,
but if this works for you, then party's over. Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to redo this
No.
for me.
no, this is
I
fine.
thought you were gonna do some.
And you'll see that a lot of places you're gonna see the red, and on the front page it explains that the revisions are suggested are in red text. Is what we talked about, and just changing some of the verbiage. It makes sense. Let's see, what else do I want to bring to your attention? Well, one of the big things that I think you already know that we're changing it from future land use plan to master plan. Also, I'm sure one of the things you wanted us to do is change the zoning on that one portion to the east of the railroad track to take it away from commercial, put it back to residential, I mean, ag, because the map shows it that way.
Yeah,
That's gonna be a different arena than what currently in, because the master plan just says it is what it is for the future. But if we want to change the zoning map, then we have to have a meeting about that and say the map is now going to be this. So I agree with your logic. It shouldn't be commercial on the east side of the railroad tracks. But at the same token, in order to do that, and that the map ends up being gospel, you have to have a public hearing. Hey, we're changing the map. Everybody okay with that? And then you change the map. We can't do it during the master plan. Okay.
okay,
So it is what it is right now. It's going in there as that,
okay,
but that'll be part of and that'll be the zoning process too, because if we're gonna get into the zoning ordinances, that'd be an ideal time to start talking about that too.
I thought we were gonna get rid of a lot of these maps.
But I kept some of them.
Like
We got
page,
rid of
page 36,
Is that the one about the wells?
yes.
We kept that one.
that is good information, because that's,
Is it?
yeah, because I'd like to know how, I know how
Yeah.
deep my.
But you know,
well
if you take a look at it, we cleaned up the one that you had in there a lot.
Okay.
Okay, and it has to do with the wells, what are good wells and bad wells, kind of give you an indication where water's good or not so good. That's what the whole idea of it is. And you probably got a little circle on the right hand side there, so it shows that it's new. If you remember, the old one used to look like this. Very.
So how does the well map read again? They just,
Well, what it does on the
I
right
see
hand
it's
side, it'll
got-
show you the small number is the number of household wells in 2024.
number, okay.
Well per section. See, there's 3 numbers on there. The little number that's on the top of the section, and then you got the one that looks like a fraction, and the fraction is number of replacement wells, and then the total number of wells per section.
3 replacement wells, 9 per that section. Like
Right,
all the way on
right.
the upper left-hand corner. Gotcha.
And what that tells you is where water's going bad in the area. Like if you had,
Oh, look at 28 replacement wells all the way on the, is that, am I reading that right?
yeah, up for Ostrander over there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, Ostrander, okay, London Township. Gotcha.
well, it's right next to
London
Township.
area.
It's still your area though. Yeah.
One little corner there, yeah. I grew up on Allison Road
Okay.
in Zeeman area, Gramlich.
It's actually an interesting chart.
Yeah, this is one.
It is because if you want to buy property or buy land, you want to build a house or everything, you're going, wow, that area, they obviously must have some kind of water problems. They're going to be taking, they got to redo that many wells.
See, this is done by Eagle. Oh. How often do
Actually,
they update this?
Mineral County takes care of, there's also Well Logic from Eagle.
How often are they updating this?
Pretty good, every 18 months or 2 years or so, yeah. Other than that, I think we got rid of most all the other ones that made no sense, I guess. If you want to, we can start at page 78 and work from there. Let me see, it's chair 78 or something. Well, on your page 78, when I just gave you the book, talks about low density and medium density. The book I gave you. Going back to the conversation about the zoning map, if we're going to be condensing what we feel is residential, we'll have to put some serious thought into the different zones that we're going to have within the township as well too. Because the master plan should correlate directly with the zoning map.
So page 77, your 77. you
Yeah,
got
by
a-
77,
Asterisk for low and medium.
right. The question becomes, what do you want to do with that? You wanna- In other words, it goes back to what Nick said, 2 acres to 5 acre.
Yeah, 2 to 4 units an acre. So you got a star there because there's gonna be a change
Or
or
not. Just, we want to just be sure we got it nailed down.
2 to 4 units in an acre didn't make any sense to me. I don't know where you can do that in Milan Township.
No,
I don't even know what a unit is. Is a unit a house?
Yeah, like you'd have, if you have a duplex, it's 2 units. If you have one house, it's 1 unit. If you have an apartment complex, it'd be like 4 units, 10 units.
Okay.
I don't think it applies in this township. It's not 2 to 4 and 4 to 6 an acre.
no,
I mean, but that's what they had in there. I don't know why. Copied something
Copy it from somewhere.
somewhere else. I could say 2 to 4 for 10 acres or something. Makes a little more sense, but
I think it really dovetails right into sewer and water though, too. You can't have an apartment complex without sewer.
well, true.
Yeah, so.
when was it that they were gonna put in, what was that called?
Bernard Lieberman.
They were gonna have some-
Crosswind.
Yeah, crosswinds, that's it. That's it. Maybe some of that's from back then.
Oh,
Yeah, that was,
I was,
he couldn't get water.
yeah, well, they
And
had,
then the
they had to have
economy
a-
went to shit.
yeah, and they had to have a treatment plant.
Treatment plant.
Yeah, yeah,
Weren't they going to add on to City of Milan's treatment plant to do that?
Mhm.
no, they were required to have
Oh, I
one
was thinking of
here.
another one that was actually north on, going through York and Milan, we're doing something there.
And it was quite a bit, they couldn't afford it. I think they maybe they wanted to hook up to Milan, but I think in the end, they had to, I know it went to a lawsuit. And it stated that they could just build, but they had to have their own treatment plant.
And that's getting problematic now in the state, and just so everybody knows, as board member, particularly that you have to be real careful even accept a system like that, because if it goes under for whatever reason, the courts have said that it refers back to the township to take care of it then. And that was a lawsuit that was done in Worth Township, which is in the slum area. They were required because they were just polluting in Lake Huron. And so what they did is they required DEQ at the time to do something about the sanitary. And It was houses kind of like Frenchtown, where they had all the houses that people use as a vacation. Eventually they started living there, and now it's Detroit Beach. Same thing there, is now people were living there, so they're having a problem with septic systems. And they were polluting, and it ended up being like $40 million to fix it. So they said, no, we're not gonna do it, we don't care. And so then the state sued them, the state won, then the township went after the state and the appeals, and they won the appeals, and then the state went to Supreme Court. And Eagle won that one, basically said, any pollution from septic systems that fail is a responsibility of the township.
Wow.
Right, so the people that have package plants and trailer parks and that kind of places, if they just walk away, then a township has a responsibility to their constituents to try to solve the problem. So with that said, anybody coming in with a septic system or a package plant, and they're getting more prevalent biofilter plants, serious consideration have to be made if the township will want to consider something like that. So I guess the question is, do we want to make any changes to that or? I'm not even sure what the importance of it, if you look at medium density areas within a half mile of a class A road, I don't know why that's important.
Houses usually don't have anything that's overweight.
And the one above it talks about near the town of Azalea. Actually, I believe those are probably, I'm not sure that there's, I think that would probably come down to the medium density, which is 4 to 6 units per acre, because those houses are pretty tight in there.
Yeah.
So I don't understand that logic either from the previous go around. Does anybody have an opinion one way or the other on any of this?
That just don't make sense to me. That's
I
my
think low and
opinion.
medium needs to be removed. I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
And just have it residential.
Not even call it low residential, just call it residential, right? Is that what we're
Yeah.
doing?
I mean, I don't see where we have the only area, like you said, would be the Cone at one time and Azalea. So we'd have a residential maybe, and then maybe medium density residential, maybe 2. So the 2 kind of do make sense for there. The 4 to 6 and 2 to 4 don't make sense.
Keep in mind, this is kind of your future map. In other words, if somebody said, I want to build an apartment complex, where do you want me to build it? And of course, your first answer is going to be know where to build it. We don't have water or sewer, but if they wanted to force the issue, where would you want it? That's where this goes. That's where the conversation would go.
Then they'd say, well, go into this medium density.
You could combine and say 2 to 6, 2 to 6 per acre, 6 units per acre, just call it residential. And then keep it around Azalea and on the northern part where they think that you might want to tie the water and sewer with the 425 that you have with the.
With Milan up here.
Yeah.
And Cone is getting pretty much
Emptied out.
empty. Yeah, there's nothing much left. And there's several that probably gotta get tore down.
Areas within 1 mile of a highway intersection, I don't understand the logic on that either. Unless they're trying to minimize the amount of traffic, just in case you put one in the middle of the township somewhere.
That 4 to 6 had to be somebody thinking that there was gonna be some kind of development here.
If we keep residential just to the two comments up top, the area within a half mile of existing public utilities, which is the north side. Area around Azalea, that I think that pretty
Yeah.
much covers the township, doesn't it?
What about across from the high school? At one time, they were gonna put houses across from the high school off
Yeah.
of Redmond.
And that went out too.
That was,
No water.
On the north side, you mean?
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, that would cover it if it's an area within a half mile of existing public utilities.
that one would work there.
We're taking to look at the south side of the high school too. So on the south
Yeah, that's
side-
what I'm talking about,
yeah,
the south side of the high school.
south side.
That's all fine, that's
Right.
right now.
Is there water there?
They'd have to tap into
The
where the
school
high
has
school,
water.
high school's got water, they'd have to get it across the road. Yeah,
Isn't that the brown area up there on the map?
can't see it from this angle, but the Redmond
Yes.
Road, south of Redmond Road, there is some brown in there. That's Redmond. Because at one time they were gonna develop that.
Yeah.
And west of the high school
It's
too.
all right.
yeah, they
It's
had a
right.
trailer in there,
Yeah.
equipment in there.
Yeah.
So that could be what that's for.
Well, the fun thing about it is that you currently have a zone just like industrial. But that would be the place that if there's gonna be any kind of houses, that'd be the place to go, because it's got water and sewer there.
I've always wondered right there, because it is owned by some investment company, and it's just the farmland leased out to miners.
Yeah.
And they also own this one too, I'm pretty sure it's the same.
They had an office up there at one time. Right across from the high school. Yeah, a trailer, office, setting up shop, and then they, that went bonkers. But that was back when everything that,
To the west side of the high school too, to the west and south. And if
I could
that's
see
like-
to keep it around there, because like you said, you have water and sewer, and if you don't, you're close, real close to it. Where you could probably annex it, if it was, adjacent to the city limits there. So I guess if that's what this is for, the one says, Azalea, the first one, low
Yeah, this
density.
is areas with at least one of the following criteria.
What it says.
Areas within a half mile of existing public utility service area. Areas surrounding the existing town of Azalea.
Yeah, so those two make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I checked those, making sense,
Yeah,
on the residential portion, yeah.
but when you read the whole thing, I guess that makes sense. The 2 to 4, and okay, if you got a duplex, you're at 2, so that's 2 to 4.
So, yeah, even if you have 1 acre, that would be a 1 acre, that'd be 100 by 200 lot.
Yeah, and if you got a duplex on it, you're already at 2.
Right.
So I guess I'm okay with the 2 to 4. The 4 to 6, if it's within a half a mile of Class A road, this is with all of the following.
All of the criteria have to be for medium
Within 1
density.
mile of existing public utility. Okay, so 1 mile,
The
area within-
interchanges are gonna make it.
1 mile of highway interchange. Yeah, I mean, you're not even Redmond Road, are you a mile away from interchange? You're further, aren't you?
Yeah, you are further, yeah, it's not, that's gonna say that nearest one would be Plank and
Yeah. One I can think of that would be 1 mile, but there's no utility, would be out here. Right now, nothing meets that criteria. Because you gotta have all 3 of them.
yes.
You have to have all 3.
That's what it says. So we don't have anything that I see that meets that criteria. Because we don't have any public utility except right by the city and where you say that what's that, 425 or whatever that is? You know, where they annexed the property out. That's the only areas. So I guess we can leave it in there. I guess, when you talk it through, I'm okay. You okay, Justin?
Just leaving the medium density.
Cheryl? Even though you're sick, you don't really give a shit. I would almost say
I
S-H-I-T.
can't think much.
I give you credit.
All right, we're gonna leave those in.
I say leave them. You talk through it and it makes sense. All
Okay.
right.
Doesn't appear that not too many items are gonna meet that criteria.
No, nothing does right now. All
If they
right.
really wanna build, they'll have to do that.
Yeah, you'd have to, well, you, number one, you'd have to get the public utilities to you. That's your biggest key. Heavy industrial. That's already where it's at, half mile from the road. Interchange. I'm okay with those. Okay. We're at the map. So what did you knock out? You knocked out these last few pages here.
Yeah, well, the map actually just looks more defined than the one that was in the book. In the previous book.
Yeah, I guess. So. Yeah, it spells out the same things that this was trying to spell out.
Right. The only thing we didn't define clearly is the 425 that apparently was proposed, but it was been okayed, right? You went through the 425 agreement.
There is one in place for
Yeah.
Milan, yeah.
Okay.
There is.
It was proposed in 2015, so we have to show that on the map as being.
It's on there. It says areas under Act 425. It's in the gray.
Perfect. Yep, there it is. Okay.
It's hard to tell what grade because there's 3 grades. But
You know what,
it
I
does
think-
say I1 in the one.
Yeah, we're gonna have to update that map though to show that, because if you look at the original map, that Act 425 boundary goes through the Ag 2 and R1. So we'll have to update the map.
That's up here, isn't it? At 425. Is that on Blank Road? Is that?
This is what I see it as. This is the way I understand it to be now. Here's the 425 right here. And then this area here. I don't know if I gave you, I don't know if I gave you a copy of that original. Did I give you the original?
Is that this one?
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. I just turned it. I got it.
Okay.
So the 425 is,
The,
there's your da 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 da.
You got
Okay,
it?
that's the Plank Road.
right.
Okay. Gotcha. So that makes sense.
So we'll update the map showing that.
So instead of having this one, the gray, you'll do the dot, dot, dot.
And we'll also add C1 over there that's on Flower and Cone. That wasn't in the 2015 for some reason. If you take a look at the new map,
Which one was it?
take a look at the new map
Yep.
versus the original. The 2000, the one that we added, if you look at Flower and Cone, the little triangle area. there.
Yeah. Yeah, because the grain elevator was commercial and
Oh,
then the
yeah.
store.
There was a store there, yep,
Right,
not no
so
more.
we made that
Yeah, Grain elevators, you see 2. And the store was where you had to see 1. That's gone.
so that's good now too, because that's even on that map there.
Yeah. Okay.
Then we go to page 81.
Yeah, you got rid of. No. Well, no, we didn't get there. Well. 80, 81, there is light industrial. And you're saying 81 is plan implementation. Where are we at? There it is. So you chopped out 1, 2, quite a few of these here then.
Yes, we did.
You got rid of additional facilities. Future land use map. Nope, you got those. So those is where you picked up, or where you picked up. You just didn't put in this. Okay.
On the tables, on my 84, 85, 86. We did not break it down based on that age like they did back in the, I mean, we got the census in 2020. But we didn't know how important that was to break it down by age. But we weren't able to really get a good breakdown. Instead, we used those, if you recall back in people thought that we did a graph instead.
Okay, all right. Fine.
I think making everybody sick.
Oh,
You go home and
Yeah, I'm
get
going
get a hot toddy.
I don't know about that.
Tell Joe to make a double. hot toddy. That'll knock it out of you.
Hot buttered rum, there it is.
I just want some ice. Continue on.
In about 2 weeks, when you're feeling better, read about it and see if you have any comments.
You know it's bad when I have a sticky note here and look at how it faded because it's been sitting on my desk.
Look at it, it's been sitting there too long.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's been there a while. Okay.
So I guess the question to you is, do you want those broke down in the ages? I mean, they got it broken down 5 to 9, 10 to 14, 15 to 19. Are these important information for you?
Where are you at? Oh, I see it. I
84.
got you. Yep, okay. I mean, they are breaking it down right down to the,
Let me know what time to quit.
Okay, I'll text you.
I mean, this is, dude, I mean, you can leave it, but I don't know if it really, you need to break it down that much. And I could see, you know, under 18 and over 18 or something, and maybe 50 and over, like us old guys, but
Something like that might help in getting the programs in for the elderly around here, how many elderly,
Yeah.
something like that.
Meals on
for a
Wheels.
grant or something to
Yeah,
help them out?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I mean,
I
it's
agree.
there, I mean.
It's there, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see a reason why.
I don't know if Trump will
Thanks
let
for
you put
making it,
this
bro.
race on here anymore.
I know, it shouldn't matter, right?
I mean,
Based on the DEI.
yeah, you might get rid of that. I seen Elon Musk. They interviewed him today in the White House.
Did really good, I thought.
I thought he did too. I mean, he talked just matter of fact.
It's very clear.
Yeah. And he says, you know, we're not gonna be perfect here. We're gonna make a mistake. And he had his kid on his head. You see him?
Yeah, yeah, playing monkey bars with him. Even funnier, one of them comments, like he tried to save money so much, he didn't even get a babysitter.
Yeah. Guy's a billionaire. Yeah, so that's fine, and we got it broke
Okay, we can
down
update-
here.
We can update those to 2020 census.
Yeah, and then we got the next one here's got, you know, women all spelled out. Is that okay with you, Justin?
Yeah, I don't.
Family households with children under 18, husband and wife family, husband fighting with wife family.
Both on the, on like page 88, where it shows income and poverty status, we have that information on a graph previously on an early one, but not as defined as this, so.
Okay, income. Less than 10. So the only thing is that is 2010 our earliest
I believe
numbers.
we have 2020, we'll find that. If we
Once it
don't,
comes in.
we're gonna end up with what you got right there.
Yeah, that's fine.
And that's it.
We had no poverty. Wait a minute. Oh, 2010, so we had no poverty status, any of them. huh?
Yeah, really, I think I saw it. I remember earlier.
In 2000, there was some, and then not in 2010. Okay,
I'd say you don't have power, just it wasn't available.
not available.
So if you get a chance to read the rest of it, that we did for the beginning, that'd be great. If you have any comments or questions.
Okay. So read through this over a cold beer and
Like sure, I'll just over a bottle of nickel, just make it happen.
yeah, get that hot toddy out.
There you go.
Okay, I'm done with that. Let's move on to new
Yep.
business to the zoning ordinances.
I can get rid of some old.
As for the zoning ordinance, what we've done in other townships is put together an engineering standard that goes with the ordinances. And that way people, if they are going to submit something, they know how to submit it, how many, how the process works. And then once they submit it, it tells them how what you as the township expects. Good example. if somebody wants to build a parking lot, and it says in your ordinance, you gotta build a parking lot. So they build, yeah, so here you go, here's a parking lot. Well, it doesn't have the proper slopes, it doesn't drain right, it's too steep or not steep enough. What the engineering standards would say is we at least want a 1% slope going down to a catch basin, going to a positive drain. So it defines it a little bit better than just an ordinance.
Park.
So I'll bring one to the board and for you guys to look at. It's called engineering standards. It's not uncommon for townships to have one on, just in case someone shows up. The second thing is the cell tower. That's the middle that we had for the cell tower. I'm already on 2 pages, just what's wrong with the survey. That's why I've been trying to talk to the surveyor, he's not calling. So I'm putting it in letter form about all the things that doesn't comply to Act 132. In the scheme of things, does it matter? It does, because if they're going to have a tower on somebody's property and they're going to give me a legal description of where that tower is, it has to be recorded with that property, so the world knows it. But if they don't do the legal properly, then we've done a disservice to that individual that owns that property because the legal's really messed up. So, and in all fairness, the surveyor, he doesn't work here in the state of Michigan. It looks like he just got his license and he's out of Ohio or Pennsylvania or somewhere. So trying to help him go through the process to make sure he gets everything covered. So at least when it comes back to you guys, it makes sense.
It's still scary though.
What's that?
It's still scary though that he's that off or whatever.
Yeah, and even these towers, you gotta, I just wanted a confirmation that it's gonna, they always say they're gonna fall on top of each other. It's not gonna go anywhere. It's not gonna fall over. It comes with structural analysis to prove that, and they didn't do that either. And the unipoles usually do, they just, the top steel is less strained, if you wanna call it. So it usually breaks and it breaks and that. Just want that warm fuzzy feeling they did their homework on it. So we're still missing that.
So it doesn't, a 300 tower don't fall over 300 foot.
Right.
It collapses in.
It has, within the 100 foot, it should be falling within the 100 foot of the fenced area. I mean, even, there was just some simple things. He's got you in the city of Milan still.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah. Okay, comments.
we want to do with the zone ordinance. What's your approach? What would you like to do?
When we were gonna have people pick out what the ordinance they had questions with and work on those, we were told we can only work on one at a time. Somebody might have to have approval of it.
You don't have to work on just one at a
Well,
time. I mean, it's usually recommended, so you don't
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll do one.
mix it up.
One section at a time?
Yeah, we'll do we're gonna go through every one of them, or we're just gonna pick?
We'd have to read them all and find out which ones need defining. There's a lot of them need defining.
Talk to the board, I'll talk to see what, what they think. We should review every one of them, or no?
Some of them
Or
don't
go
tail into
through
each other, so you have to at least read them, because if this section talks about that section.
Yeah.
And make sure they match.
Okay.
Section at a time, not that idea.
Okay.
But like you said, if you're going to amend an ordinance, you do need a public hearing, you have to go through the whole process.
Yeah, and that'd be a workshop kind of thing too.
Bringing those engineering standards, we were just talking about it.
Say again?
I do agree with bringing in those engineering things for people to know,
The standard.
just standards. I think that's a good idea.
Right, thanks.
Yeah.
Is
All right,
that, does that cover everything, even like from just general residential stuff to, or like, what are we talking? Is this just
Yeah, it
commercial,
actually does. It
industrial?
covers everything. If you're gonna put a building, if you're gonna build a house, you gotta make sure you're not draining on the neighbor's property, that kind of thing. It covers everything, because the ordinance doesn't cover that. The ordinance says, you could put a house on their property. Okay, you got the house on the property, now it's draining on somebody else. Well, who said I couldn't do that? You know, so.
I think that's needed.
it's another protection.
Well, now
It's-
people know, I mean, something they can reference to and then we'll
It's
know
a-
the answers. They don't have to sit there and wonder and then get rejected because they didn't
Didn't know what the
follow
plan
this or
was,
know
yeah.
what, yeah.
It's a common sense kind of thing. And you get a lot of people, I'll use house for example, somebody wants to build their own house, well, they've never done it before. So they don't know what they're getting into. And it could be drainage, it could be tying their, and I've seen this, they've tied their downspouts into their sewer system, into the septic field. I mean, because, well, where's that water going? Let's get it out of here. Silly little things that they don't know. So, and then the building inspector said you can't do that, so all of a sudden now the building inspector's a bad guy, so.
I had my first house was on Wabash right down here. And the house next to me, the mainstay guy that built it was there for, 80 years or whatever, 60, moved. So they sold the house. Well, who come in there? City folk. Well, city folk are in there, and it's just out in the country. It's just right down the road here in Wabash, about a mile. And this guy, my neighbor, come over talking to me, and he says, and this was after he was in the house 6 months, and it was fall or even late, might even been in winter. He goes, I gotta ask you a question. He was an engineer. He worked for Jarvis B. Webb.
What do they do?
Lines for auto.
Okay, automotive engineer,
Automotive.
gotta clarify.
Yeah. He said, can you tell me what that tank is for in my backyard? I said, well, I said, you better learn fast because snow's coming. So I think it was the fall. I said, that's your propane. What's that for?
Oh, God.
And we don't have gas here, no natural gas. At the time, there is now, but no natural gas.
Oh, yeah.
Then he didn't know, he kept trying to get his garbage picked up.
That's the other one, garbage picked up.
You gotta call and tell them this, you gotta buy it there. It's not on the taxes.
Yeah.
So they won't pick up my garbage.
Or call the utility department because my water went out. I don't have any water. What happened to the pipe in front of my house?
Yeah.
So, you know,
But I mean, the guy, he was serious as could be.
Yeah.
Had no idea.
And some people aren't aware.
And call
Okay.
and find out when you're gonna get rid of that deer in the front yard that died too.
Okay, so what do we got? We got comments?
Public comment?
Is that?
Comments from the commissioners.
Oh, that's right. Oh, I skipped over there. Got my
Is that
notes.
something we have to recommend to the board, the engineering standards?
Yeah,
So
let me
like
get them to you
review-
first so you guys can review them and then you can make that recommendation that should be
I just don't know how
under
they're-
consideration.
Okay.
What's going on, Nick?
Hey, I've been out of town. I can tell you what I did and the reason I wasn't here last time. Not that you care, but
I
I was
was
getting-
getting, I hope yours okay.
So I gotta redo my licenses and stuff. One of them is builder's license, maintenance and alterations, so I take classes. And a 60-hour class at night. 4 hours, it's a long 4 hours, every night for 2 weeks. But anyway, Michigan hasn't updated their building codes since Whitmer's been in office, I think.
2015.
Yeah, it's been a while. And the other codes have changed 3 times, the feds. So right now, in the new codes, they just renewed them. I want to say a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, they just renewed the new codes. And in the new codes, every new house has to have a fire suppression system. Did you know that?
It's limited to areas that need it, but you can use residential for the fire, for the sprinkler head itself, yes. They are pushing that pretty hard.
So what are they gonna make, like out here, a house, they're gonna have to have a sprinkler system?
Yeah, like you get a 1/2 inch PEX and come off
Yep.
that. Yeah, for an area that they think is critical, like utility rooms are gonna be one of them.
Oh, so it is coming then.
Yeah.
It's the way it sounds, it is a new,
Some of the stuff was really crazy. They were bringing down the pipes at ICC. They started throwing a lot of it out because it was getting too environmental green kind of thing, but and it was getting physically, financially impossible to do.
Yeah, who could build a house? You start getting into some of the things that, and they're gonna do away with propane and gas stoves and
Ann Arbor's already doing that.
that's crazy.
Yeah,
And
and
I
on the side, they had the
they've
mayor
been around
put in a
forever.
gas stove, a gas fireplace and told everybody nobody could use gas. So, that's Ann Arbor.
Yeah,
Anything that's mandatory, like them doors, handicap doors, they double the price of what it actually is because it's mandatory.
Mhm. Yeah, like the ADA accessibility stuff.
yeah, those were expensive.
But yeah, 2018 is supposed to be coming out here real soon with the new building code, but everybody's already. passed
6
that.
months, I think.
They got the electrical, plumbing code, HVAC, rehabilitation codes, they're well on their way. And it's the 2015 code still is lagging behind.
Yeah. Okay, so anyway, that's what I got.
Okay. Good. No. So excited tonight, anyway.
All
Tired.
energy over
She's
there.
got 2 jobs now.
Yeah.
That's true.
It just came
Public
from my
comment?
shop.
I've got one question and it doesn't totally matter anymore, but on this 18, it says completion of the project. It says that they gotta start it within 1 year, but they got 3 years.
For total completion, C of O, yeah.
Okay.
And just so you know, too, the drainage commission, I've already told Mark, has told us that we have to watch that project to make sure that the pipes are put in properly, because they're tying it to MDOT's
pump.
storm system. And they want to make sure there's no problem with that.
And that's a pump down there,
It's a
isn't it?
pump, yeah, that it takes some floods out
Yeah.
already.
And so they want to make sure that that tie-in is done correctly, as well as how the water gets there, so there's not a problem.
What about once it gets out from the pump?
It's MDOT.
That's, so that's,
That actually goes to the northeast.
yeah, I know.
Right.
And it sits there.
Supposed to go through the drain, it's supposed to work its way through the drain, but MDOT won't pay for cleaning the drain, so yeah, it probably does sit there.
It does. And thank you guys for doing what you did with this and putting all the time into it.
Okay, make a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
I just helped you out.
Okay, thank you.
I just helped that.
I'm reading this while you're saying that, I'm thinking, where I gotta do next, okay, 8:18.
Okay. This is with the map, as far as,
I gotta text you.
what would be the advantage
What do I gotta say?